Welcome to Arise Avenue. Today, you'll hear a story, a real moment that many people know too well, a visa interview, a dream, and a heart full of fear. Through this story, you will learn English naturally, the kind of English people use in real life, during interviews, and in emotional moments if you're planning to go to the USA or UK, or just want to speak English with more confidence. This video is for you that will use simple words, clear sentences, and help you feel every part of Maria's journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Arise Avenue for more powerful stories and real English learning. Now, take a deep breath and step with us into Maria's world, where one interview could change everything. She was ready for this interview until the first question hit. Maria sat on the edge of her bed, holding her passport like it was made of glass. Tomorrow was her visa interview, the one moment everything depended on. Her room was quiet, except for the sound of her father's radio playing outside. He had come home early from his shift, said nothing, just gave her a smile, the tired kind. She opened her notebook, the one full of English answers she had practiced for weeks. Why do you want to study in the US? What will you do after graduation? She whispered the answers aloud. Again, then again. But no matter how many times she said the words, her chest stayed tight. What if she froze? What if her accent made her sound wrong? She looked at herself in the mirror. You've come this far. You can't let fear ruin it now. Her voice trembled, but there was fire in her eyes. That night, she didn't sleep much. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, thinking of two things, her father's tired smile, and her dream of becoming something more. In the morning, she would face the embassy gate, and fear would be waiting. But so would her courage. The sun was barely up, but the embassy line had already formed. Dozens of people, all silent, all waiting. Maria stood among them, her folder clutched tightly to her chest. She had worn her best shirt. Her shoes were polished. But inside, her stomach was in knots. To her left, a man in a suit practiced his answers confidently. To her right, a girl laughed with her friend, like it was just another day. Maria swallowed hard. What if I'm not like them? What if my English isn't enough? Her hands felt cold, but she didn't move. An officer called the next group. Security check. Document check. No phones. No talking. She stepped through the gates, heart pounding louder than her footsteps. Inside, everything felt official. Thick glass windows. Tight spaces. Visa interviews happening at small counters, one after the other. She sat quietly, rehearsing in her head. My name is Maria. I am applying for a student visa. But her voice was buried under her heartbeat. Suddenly, a voice called out, Window 4. Maria Delgado. Time stopped, then started again. She stood up. Slowly. This was it. No more practice. The real test was about to begin. Maria stepped forward. Window 4. Glass barrier. American flag in the corner. A serious-looking officer stared down at her documents. Good morning, he said. She opened her mouth to reply. Only air came out. He looked up, waiting. She forced a breath and tried again. Good morning, sir, she whispered. He glanced at her passport. Purpose of travel? Her mind went blank. Then, a memory. Her notebook. Her mirror. She straightened her shoulders. I'm going to study public health at Central University. The officer didn't smile. Why this university? She felt her throat close again. She paused. Because of their research. Because of her dream. Because of her father. But all she managed to say was, they have a strong, program. Silence. The officer typed something. Her heart sank. Had she failed already? She looked down until she heard. Next question. She wasn't done yet. She still had a chance. The room felt colder now. The officer asked again. How will this degree help you in your home country? Maria opened her mouth. The words were in her head, but her tongue just didn't move. Fast enough, she froze. 5 seconds. 10. Maybe more. The officer raised an eyebrow. Her heartbeat echoed in her ears. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know the answer. I practiced. She stopped. Her voice cracked. A lump rose in her throat. The room started to blur. She felt like running, but her feet wouldn't move. This is it, she thought. This is how it ends. All my years of study, ruined in 10 seconds. But then, something shifted. A memory. Her dad, staying up at night fixing a broken fan with one hand, because the other hand held her tuition receipt. She blinked the tears away. lifted her head, and said, slowly, "I want to work in rural health, to serve communities like the one I came from." Her voice wasn't perfect. Her grammar wasn't fancy. But her truth was clear. The officer looked up from his screen. For the first time, he really looked at her. The officer sat back, folded his hands. "What will you do after finishing your degree?" His tone was softer now, but still sharp. Maria didn't rush. This time, she didn't think about grammar, or mistakes, or rejection. She just spoke. "I want to come back and build something real. A clinic in the village I grew up in. We didn't even have a nurse. People died of things that could be treated." The officer typed something slowly. She watched his fingers move, but couldn't read his face. That he picked up her passport, stamped something, looked up, and said 4 words she would never forget. "Your visa is approved." Maria stood frozen. This time, not from fear, but from disbelief. Outside the embassy, the sun was warmer. She called her father with shaking hands. He didn't say much, but she heard him quietly say, "She did it." She didn't speak perfect English, but she spoke. With truth. With heart. And sometimes, that's all it takes. She stepped away from the embassy gate, still stunned. Each breath felt lighter. Each step felt new. At the bus stop, she waited quietly, her folder clutched in one hand, her phone still warm from the call. A boy sat beside her, maybe early 20s, suit slightly too big, papers shaking in his lap. His lips moved as he rehearsed quietly. Maria turned her head. "You have an interview today?" He nodded, startled. "Yeah, tomorrow morning." She smiled. "I had mine today." He stared at her, wide-eyed. "Did you pass?" She nodded. Again. "I did." Silence hung in the air for a second. Then he exhaled, a nervous laugh escaping. "That gives me hope," he said. The next morning, someone knocked at their door. Her father opened it to find the same boy, holding a folder and wearing yesterday's worry on his face. "I'm sorry," he said. I didn't know who else to ask." Maria invited him in the same table where she had whispered answers to herself for weeks. She now sat across from someone else. She asked him the questions she once feared. At first, he answered like a script, memorized and stiff. Maria shook her head gently. "Try again," she said. "But this time, speak like it matters." So he did, and she listened. She corrected a word here, slowed him down there. More than grammar. She gave him belief. 3 days later, she got a message. Just 4 words. "I got it. Thanks." Maria read it once. Then again. She didn't smile wide or jump with joy. She just sat back, letting the moment sink in. Her father noticed. "Another dream passed through this house?" he asked. Maria nodded. "Yes. And this time, I helped it happen." Outside, the evening breeze moved gently through the window. The world still felt uncertain. But something inside her had changed. She had crossed a line. From fear to confidence. From student to guide. She didn't speak perfect English. But now, she taught someone else to speak with heart. And maybe, just maybe, that's how all dreams begin. If this story touched you, if you saw a little bit of yourself in Maria, then stay with us. That we share real moments like these. Stories that teach you English, but also remind you, you're not alone. Whether you're learning English for your future, your family, or your dreams, we're here with you. Subscribe to Arise Avenue, like this video, and tell us in the comments, what's your dream? Let's grow, learn, and dream together.